Are you guys ready? Yeah. Set, go! You know how hard it can be getting dressed and out the door in the morning? Try doing it in under a minute. But don't forget to factor in heavy, clumsy fire protection gear. You're watching what's called a turnout drill. And these are all Jeffco High School students learning the art of first response in Warren Tech's Fire Science program.
In a real scenario in a fire department, you want to be able to get ready in a minute or less. So you're going to have to take off your shoes, throw on your boots, big fire boots. And then put on pants, big coat, buckle them all up, put on your helmet or your mask if you're going to a fire. It gets pretty heavy and warm. If you're not ready under a minute, you won't be able to get on the call. It's pretty competitive, like the first 4 get on the truck and go. Either you have to wait for the next truck if it's a big enough emergency, or you just wait for the next call.
The bay where they drill is configured much like a real fire station. And as they go through the drill, Warren Tech Fire Science instructor Matt Beckett keeps a close watch.
I came from Craig Fire Rescue, spent 8 years there, worked up to being a lieutenant and a captain.
All right, well done. Doff your gear, get it set back up. We'll do it one more time.
So this position was open and I really got into the training piece back there and ran our academy. I fell in love with the teaching side of it and the adult education, so I was a little nervous coming in to teach students. But it's really translated over well, and it's kind of a good mix in both worlds.
All right, keep your gear on. Open the bay door. We're going to roll this outside and we'll go ahead and light the box. This training is as real as it gets. The turnout drill is just one of several JPRs, or job performance requirements, that real fire department job hunters in Colorado have to pass before moving on to a mandatory test called Fire 1.
And we also use Health Safety Institute's EMR standard, so it's a national registry test for emergency medical responder. The only thing we're not able to do with time constraints is the hazmat portion. Otherwise, they could probably actually certify here as a firefighter 1.
They have the same textbooks that are in use at fire academies across Colorado. These fire scientists also get intensive instruction in fire behavior. Beckett uses an insulated firebox to teach them how heat, oxygen, and a confined space can affect fire flow.
We can do backdrafts, we can do rollovers and flashovers, which are events that if you run into in the field are usually fatal.
You guys see that flash at some point? Yeah. And now we're fully developed.
But it lets them get an idea of the precursors for those events, and then they can hopefully identify them before they put themselves in a dangerous situation later on.
What's your temperature still? About 1,000 at the top? Yeah. There, we're rolling. Now it's flashed completely over, right? It won't take a ton of water to knock a fire like this down. So you come in, I want you to shoot up to the roof line of it. Inside? Yep. Now we can advance.
The students also get a feel for car accident first response.
We set it up for an ambulance response with a 4-person crew where they go in and maintain C-spine, which is cervical spine protection, so keeps any spinal injuries from getting worse.
Warren Tech is only one of a handful of high schools in the country with a program like this, and it's not for everyone.
They have to be self-motivated. They have to want to be here. And that's some of the leeway that I get with students, is that they all have chosen to be here. Nobody's forced to come. They don't have to be here. They all put in an application, and for every student we have sitting in the class, there's one who didn't make the cut.
All right. Raptors, we're going to have to start taking vitals. Get her in there.
And when you see what they have to go through at the training tower, it's easy to understand why.
This is no joke. It's not fun and games getting to play with fire. It's pretty much life or death.
More about that as our series continues.